Hello there, Veena here from digitalaccesspass.com. In this video, I'll show you how you can use the DAP Shortcode Builder to generate shortcodes using different criteria to protect your WordPress content. So you no longer have to manually create a shortcode string. You can use the Shortcode Builder to automatically generate the shortcode based on your selections. To access the new Shortcode Builder, visit WordPress admin pages. Here you can edit any existing page where you want to insert the shortcode, or you can add a new page. You will find an option for DAP Shortcode right here. Click on that and it will bring up an editor like this. Here you can select different criteria that you want to use to create your shortcode. Now let me show you all the different options that are available to you to hide or show content to your users. Number one, is user logged in? If you set this to yes, and it doesn't matter if you select any other criteria below that or not, if you just click on generate shortcode, you will notice that it says is logged in yes. So whatever content you insert here between the DAP shortcode start tag and the end tag is only going to be displayed to the logged in members. So if you insert this, you will notice that when you access this page, this content will only be displayed to the logged in members. So if you want to display content just to the not logged in members, then you can create a different shortcode for that. So let me show you how you can do that. So click on DAP shortcode and select no here because you want to display the message to not logged in members, and then go ahead and generate the shortcode, and whatever you insert between the start and the end tag, it's going to be displayed to the not logged in members. So if I visit the page in a logged in state, it's going to show me only to the logged in members because I'm logged in here. And if I visit the same page in a not logged in state, it only shows me the message that I have configured for not logged in members. So it shows different messages based on the logged in state of the member. Now let me show you the other options here. Now say that I want to display a specific message to my logged in members who have access to certain products. If you don't care what products they have and you just want to display message to the logged in members, you can ignore this. But if you want to only display it if they have access to a specific product, then here you can select the product or the products to which they should have access to see that content. Now here we use an or rule. So it's not an and rule. It doesn't mean that they have to have access to all of these selected products. If they have access to one or more of the selected products, they will be able to see the content. So here, for example, say that I have selected SPC, I have selected email marketing. These are the two products. So this message, whatever message I insert between the start tag and the end tag of the shortcode, is only going to be displayed to the members that have access to SPC or email marketing product. It doesn't mean that they have to have access to both of these products. As long as they have access to any one of these products, they will be able to see the content. So let me go ahead and create the shortcode here. Now you can see that it says is logged in yes, has access to 1,2. What this means is the message that I insert between the start tag and the end tag will only be displayed to members that are logged in and have access to product ID 1 or product ID 2. So I'll show you here I am logged in as a member that has access to product ID 2. And so you can see that it is displaying both of these messages. The first message I want it to be displayed just to the logged in members, and the second message I want it to be displayed to the members that are not just logged in but also have access to one of these products. So here's the member that I am using for my testing. You can see that this user has access to the email marketing product and the access is valid, access has not expired. So this member has active access to email marketing product. So when I log in as this member, I should be able to see the content that's set to only be displayed to the active members of product IDs 1 or 2. So that's why I'm able to see this message. So say that this user's access expired on the 19th and select that, update. This user's access has now expired and it's not going to display that. That's because my access has expired. I don't have access to the SPC product. I only have access to the email marketing product, but my access to that product has expired. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other options. So say that now you want to display messages only to logged in members that do not have access to selected products. So here, instead of has access to, we are selecting members that do not have access to the selected products. So here, for example, say that you select these two products. Now, this is different from the has access to in the sense that has access to uses or rule. So if they don't have access to even one of those, if they have access to even one of those selected products, then they are going to see the message with the has access to. The has no access to, it works differently because it uses and rule. So if they don't have access to all of the selected products, only then they are going to see the message. If they have access to even one of the selected products, they're not going to see the message that you insert between the start tag and the end tag of the has no access to shortcode. So let me show you how this works. So say that here we have selected these two products, and let's go ahead and create the shortcode. Now, this is the shortcode. Whatever you insert here, so say that this is the message that you want to display only if the logged in member does not have access to both, they don't have access to both 3 and 4, only then they're going to see this message. So this is different from the previous one because it was an or rule. This is an and rule. So let's see what happens if I am logged in as a member and I don't have access to these products. So I'm going to log in as this member. I don't have access to product ID number 3 or product ID number 4. The message should only be displayed as long as I don't have access to both of those. So I should see the message that I have configured here. So this message should be shown to me because I don't have access to both of these. So now if I log in as this member and I refresh the page, I should see that message. So it says only show this to members. So the reason I'm seeing this is because I'm logged in as a member that does not have access to 3 as well as 4. I don't have access to either of them. So now if I go ahead and give myself access to even one of those products, now I'm giving myself access to product ID number 3. If I go back and refresh this page, I should no longer see this because I now have access to product ID 3. So just remember that this message will only be displayed, the has no access to message, to members that do not have access to all of the selected products. Now, before I show you all the other shortcode options, I want to quickly show you how you can use these shortcodes inside your page builder or your content builder plugins. So here I am using Thrive Architect. That's my favorite page builder plugin. So I'm going to get rid of these shortcodes from here, and I have copied this in my notepad, and I'm going to show you how you can insert it inside the pages that you create using your own page builder plugin. So here I'm going to use a landing page template first. So this is my landing page template, and what I want to do is I want to display the content up to here to everyone. However, anything that you see below this, I only want to display this, I only want to show this rest of the content to logged in members. So this was my shortcode for logged in members, and I'm going to get rid of this part because I want to show the content that you see here to the logged in members, and the end tag has to be after all of this content. That way all the content is enclosed between the start tag and the end tag, and it's only going to be displayed to the logged in members. All right, so let me go towards the end and let me insert right here. You see that I have already done that. So you can see that I have the end tag here, which is /DAP, and that's it. Now, if I save this and visit this page in a logged in state, I'm going to see everything. But if I log out and I visit the same page in a not logged in state, let me show you that. So here I have logged out of DAP, and so you can see that because the content is set to be displayed only to logged in members, so I don't see anything below the shortcode. I'll show you that one more time. So this is my editor, and you can see that I have inserted the shortcode here. So anything below this is only going to be visible to the logged in members, and you can see my end tag, which is after all of this content, it's right here. So it's /DAP, that's the end tag of my shortcode. So I have inserted that after all of this content because I want only logged in members to see all of this content. So insert the end tag wherever you want the shortcode to end, and anything below that will be displayed to all the users. Now let's take a quick look at some of the other shortcode options. So far we have looked at is user logged in, has access to, and has no access to. We have one more, has expired access to. So say that you have selected one or more products here and you only want to display the message to to users whose access to these selected products has expired. Now this one also uses an AND rule, not an OR rule, but an AND rule, just like the has no access to. So if the members' access to all of the selected products has expired, only then they're going to see that message. So say that you only want to display the message if they have access to this product, but their access has expired, then just select that product. But if you want to display the message only if their access to both of these products has expired, then select both. So say that here I have selected both of these products, and I'll go ahead and generate the shortcode. But before that, I want to make sure that is logged in is set to yes. So logged in members whose access to both of these products has expired should see that message. So I'll generate the shortcode. This is the shortcode. What I'll do is I'll insert this in my editor. So in my page builder plugin. So this is the page that I have created using Thrive Architect. So here I'm going to insert the shortcode here, which is the start tag, and the end tag. I want the expired members to see all of this message, but up to here. So here is the end tag. All right. So now let's go ahead and save this page. If I log in and access this page as a member who does not have access to these products, they're not going to see the message. So they have to have access, but access should be expired for them to see the message. So first let me show you the backend of DAP. So here, this is the user I'm going to use for my testing. This user has access to product ID number 2. This is the product ID 2, which I have used in the shortcode. So this user does not have access to number 1 at all, which is SPC product. This user does not have access to that, has access to another product, which is product ID 2, and access has expired. But because it uses an AND rule, this user is not going to see the messages that I have inserted between the start and the end tag of that specific shortcode. So let me show you that first. Here I'm logged in as that member. If I refresh this page, you'll see that this member will only see up to here and not the rest of the content because this member is not eligible yet. So say that I give this user access to the SPC product. So now this user has access to the SPC product. However, the access has not expired yet. And remember, the rule was only display the message to people whose access to both of these products has expired. So if I go ahead and refresh this page, you will see that it will still not show me the rest of the content because the rest of the content will only be displayed to members whose access to both of those products has expired. So let me go ahead and expire this user's access to the SPC product. So say that this user's access ends on the 10th, and I will change the start date as well. So now this user has access to the SPC product. However, the access has expired. So now this user has access to both product ID 1 and product ID 2. However, the access to both of these products has expired. So now if I go ahead and refresh this page, I should be able to access all of the content because the content should be available to users, to logged in members whose access to both product ID 1 and 2 should be expired. So that's the case here. So I'm logged in as a member with whose access to both of those products has expired. So I'm able to access all of this content. So as I mentioned before, has expired access to, it uses AND rule. So whatever products you select here, users' access to all of these products must be expired for them to see the content that you have between the start tag and end tag when you use the has expired access to in the shortcode. Moving on, let's take a look at error message template. Now this is an important one because this is used to determine what error messages should be displayed to people that do not meet the selected criteria. So for example, say that you have a shortcode that should only be visible to people that have access to product ID number 1. And say that that specific user does not have access to product ID 1. So what should happen? Do you want to display an error message to let the user know that they don't have access? Or Do you want the shortcode to completely disappear and all the messages inside the shortcode or whatever you have enclosed within the shortcode, do you want it to like disappear without leaving a trace so the user doesn't even know it existed in the first place? So that's up to you. If you want it to disappear without leaving any trace of its existence, set it to no error. However, if you want to display a specific error message, if they don't have access to the content or if they are not eligible for the content that you have inserted between the start tag and the end tag of that shortcode, then you can select short or long template. And you can customize the contents of the short or the long template in DAP admin dashboard. So you can go to the setup templates page and select error message long or error message short, and you can configure the content of these two error message templates here. And if a user does not have access to the content that you have between the start and the end tag, they are going to see the messages that you have customized here. You can also use the DAP shortcode to create member-specific content. So here you can insert all the DAP user IDs, and all of those user IDs will be able to see that specific piece of content that you have hidden between the start tag and the end tag. So if you visit the DAP members manage page, you will find the user ID number here, and this is the user ID number that you need to insert here. If you want only that specific user to see a specific piece of content, then you can enter the user ID here. Now let's take a look at in-page dripping feature. Now this is an interesting feature because this will allow you to show a piece of content only to members who have been a member of a specific product for a certain number of days. So for example, here I'm saying display this message only to people that have been a member for 5 days or more of my product, which I have configured under has access to. So it's important that you configure the has access to because the dripping is based on the selected product. So here I'm saying if the logged in member has been a member of SPC product for 5 days or more, they're going to see this message and they're going to stop seeing this message after they have been a member for 30 days or more. So the end day is set to 30, so the message will disappear after day 30, and it will show up after day 4, which means when they are on day 5 of their membership, that message is going to show up and it's going to disappear after day 30. You can also use the shortcode for negative dripping. What this means is if you set the start day, for example, to -6, then when a user's access is set to expire, say that their access end date is today. So 6 days before their access end date to that specific product. So in this case, has access to is set to 2, which is product ID 2, and start day is set to -6. So 6 days before the user's access to product ID number 2 is set to expire, they're going to see that message. And that message is going to stop showing 3 days before their access expires. So this is a very powerful feature because you can now display different content to people whose access is about to expire. And also you can configure it to stop showing that message and maybe display a different message as they get even more closer to their expiration date. Now let's take a look at date-based ripping. So if you have a specific piece of content that you want to display between a specific start date and an end date, and you want it to disappear after that end date, and you don't want it to show up before that specified start date, then enter the start date and end date here, and that message will only show between this date range. And be sure to select the product because everything is based on the selected product. So here, for example, I have selected the SPC product. So logged in members with access to SPC will see this message starting this date, and they will stop seeing this message after this date. So you can use day-based ripping or you can use date-based ripping based on your needs. It has a couple more interesting features: public until and public after. What this means is if you have a specific piece of content, it's premium content, however you want it to be public until a certain time frame, and then you want it to automatically become protected, and you want the shortcode rules to be applied after that specified date, then you can do that. Enter the date here, and this content will be public until that date, and after that date, whatever shortcode parameters you have selected above, it will be applied and the content will get protected. Same thing with public after. What this means is this content will be protected until that specified date. using whatever parameters you have selected above, so it will be protected. However, after that date, it's going to become public, so it will become open after that date. Now the last option, now you can actually ignore this because this is the content that you want to insert between the shortcode start tag and the end tag, and you don't have to insert it here, because if you do, let me show you how it looks. So this is the content between the shortcode start tag and the end tag, and there's no need for you to insert it there because you can directly insert it here in your WordPress editor, or you can go to your page builder and then you insert the start tag, and you have the rest of the content, then you insert the end tag there. So you don't really have to use it, but if you want to and you want to insert the content right here that you want to protect, then you can do that. That's completely up to you. All right, so I have shared everything that the DAP Shortcode Builder can do for you. All of these features, at least most of these features, were already there. However, we didn't have an easy to use builder, so you had to manually create those strings. Now with the Shortcode Builder, it's going to be really easy for you to select different rules and set up the shortcode based on that. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, please be sure to leave us a comment below, or you can send us a support ticket with your questions and we'll be happy to answer them for you. My name is Veena. Thanks for watching.